Hello, 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 hello. Good afternoon. From if you're in Nigeria or in my time zone, good afternoon. Hope you're all doing well. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Happy to be here again. I hope you had a productive week. I hope you're doing well. And I hope you're planning to rest this weekend. So this weekend, for the first time, I think I started planning since yesterday that this weekend I have to watch a very, very interesting movie. I have no idea what movie yet. So I'm looking forward to some suggestions. So you let me know. Thank you for joining. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you're joining. Thank you for joining. Happy to be here again this Friday. I'm just going to do a quick recap before we go into today's Today we're wrapping up what we've been talking about. My name is Joyce Gomina. For those of you that just see me for the first time, I like to identify as an educator. I've been in the education space almost all my career in different roles: classroom teacher, a teacher trainer, a coach, an edtech advocate, an edtech consultant. I've had opportunities of teaching in the classroom, working with key stakeholders, policy makers, school leaders, and all of that. So it's just a delight to sit and just share from the little experience I've garnered around my different roles and in different places that I've worked and I'm still working. And also stories from my children and their learning, their schools, and from other teachers and their experiences, other school leaders and their experiences, all these different things together, just looking at an opportunity to just pick one or two things from it and we can learn together. I'll be quite excited and happy to have any one of you listening come on live and add your voice to the conversation. It's always nice to get feedback from a lot of you after the live. I wish some of those feedback will come during the live or even before the next even before the next conversation, but it's good. Like I said, we have people who would rather be behind the scenes. Thank you, Rebecca Midawa. Thank you. Oh, why am I still calling Midawa? It's still fine anyway. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone. So I realized that it's after the live most times that I get to see those that really joined in. It's easier for me to know you are on the show if you either make a comment or react, say hello, say hi, let me know where you're watching from. Then it's easy for me to know that you're live. Most times I just realize after the live that, oh, this person was here, that person was there. I'm really always excited to have you all join in. So most of the stories, like I've said before, are from experiences with raising my children, hearing their experiences at school, my personal experience working in school, in different schools and with different children and with different education leaders, tech experts, all of the stories that I'm getting from. And some are actually just an imagination, a scenario that I would think of in my head and just think, okay, we can learn one or two things from here. So recently we've been looking at supporting the hidden voices in our classrooms, in our families, and in our workplaces. So we have, when we say hidden voices, we're talking about those people who would rather stay in the background, who would not even want to be seen. Just let the school day go by without anyone, just no drama around me. Let's just go like they will say here, until the class season is over. You know those kind of people that it's when you're taking roll call and you just say, oh, where's Bala? Is he in school? Oh, Bala, yes. Because they will be so quiet. They would hardly communicate with people and all of that. And we have people like that in our families, that as soon as there's a visitor, they'll go hide in the room. And even within the family, visitor or no visitor, they would rather just stay on their own lane and do their own thing. They don't really want to talk and all of that. And we said, how do we support such voices? How do we create an environment that allows them to find their voices or to be heard and to be given equal opportunity to express themselves in whatever situation, whether in the classroom, in our families, or in workplaces? And one of the things we said last week, let me do a quick recap, is first of all, for the classroom, last week we looked at just the classrooms. And we said for the classroom, first you have to be very, very sure that you're not dealing with a case of someone that's just being shy, or who lacks confidence, or who have had emotional trauma from the past, okay, or someone who just has maybe cultural or social conditioning. You know, those cultural and social conditionings that will say, you are a girl, you shouldn't be talking loud. You know, when you're in a place, you should be well behaved. And the definition of being well behaved is that you're quiet and you can't really contribute to stuff. You can't really ask questions. You can't be out and vocal. You need to be quiet. Or don't you know you are the firstborn of the family and you're supposed to be the matured one? Why are you always talking? Why are you always loud? Why are you always rough? You know, those kind of conditioning that kind of makes the person feel like the world expects me to be a quiet person, to be behind the scenes. Don't show yourself. You're too proud when you're loud and when you're vocal and when you're self-confident. It looks like a lot of people feel, oh, that's a symbol or a sign of pride. You know, all those conditioning that makes people just withdraw and hide behind. Or maybe in the past they've had experiences where because they were vocal, they got into trouble a lot with their teachers, or in their workplaces they got into like real big trouble. They were shamed and they had just like real big trouble, and so they would rather be quiet. So once you've checked, and if that is the problem, or if that is what you're dealing with, then you need to help them professionally to get out of that state. You need to build their confidence up. You need to help them overcome the trauma. You need to help them believe in themselves. You need to help them overcome being shy. Okay, being shy is not a requirement for any kind of employment. It's not a requirement, right? So you need to help them get over it. But the kind of people we're looking at in this conversation are the people who are not shy. It's not because they had any traumatic experience or any social conditioning that's making them stay in the background. We're talking about people who are introverted by nature, by their personality. They are introverts. And some of the misconceptions we cleared last week is that being an introvert doesn't mean you're shy. Thank you, my favorite person, for joining. God bless you. Okay, so now, being an introvert doesn't mean you're a shy person. A lot of people say being introverted is synonymous to being shy or being reserved or being quiet. Even extroverts can be shy. Even extroverts can be reserved sometimes. Even extroverts can be quiet. So these are things that both, oh, the link. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, Stephen. So being all of that, okay, being an introvert, you can be shy as well as an extrovert. You can be quiet, you can be reserved. So it's not synonymous. It's not synonymous. So those are some of the misconceptions we cleared last week. So I'm just going to copy the link. So I decided to come on now because I'm going to have a busy evening. We're preparing for a party tomorrow. Happy birthday, Nelson and David. We're your big days tomorrow. We're going to be there live and direct. So we have like a lot of things to do this evening, and I don't trust myself if I don't do it now. So that's why I'm up now. Let me just send this to. Okay, so that's part of what we said. So we said, how can we support them in the classroom? Most people that are introverted, they like to think. They are deep thinkers. They introspect a lot. They don't like this random. Who can tell me the meaning of, hey, me, hey, and everybody's shouting. I say, hey, you, go wrong, you. It doesn't really work for them most times. They actually prefer structured conversation, one-on-one, small groups, and all of that. So whatever you're doing in the classroom, please make sure that you have activities that are varied activities that allows you to, okay, I've seen you, and the link is Yeah, I've sent the link. Thank you so much, Stephen. So you need to have varied activities that will allow varied feedback mechanisms and varied activities that will allow them to participate. Don't just say, well, if they don't want to talk, that's their business. Are they children? They should be able to express themselves. I need to get them out of there. We say we don't try to break people that are introverted. You know, like a wild horse. You want to tame the wild horse. You want to break. Say, you, I will get you out of your shell. You, this boy. You, this girl. You might not in my class, so you must talk. No, you need to understand their strengths. You need to understand who they are, their personality. Remember, we can't all be the same. There is beauty in diversity. If we all see things the same way, then we wouldn't all get the same result. We won't get a good result. Remember that you're raising people who are going to the world that has people with different personalities and different ways of expressing themselves. So the idea is not to try to change people that come into your class to fit a particular mold. That all of you must be like this. It's to understand who they are and support them to be strong in their personality and be able to speak in their strength and pick the things that you see that are their strengths and use it to engage with them. We talked about different ways you can get them to feel comfortable. Like if you have straws that you've named after the children in your class, I do that. You have straws, you've named them after the children in your class, and you let them know that every time I'm teaching, I pick a straw, you're going to talk. They like to be pre-informed, kind of. They don't like these all of a sudden they like to. And please, in your classrooms, encourage thinking. You know how they brought us up? They just ask you, what is this? They expect you to just spit out the answer as if before you asked the question, you had told me the question in my mind, and I'm supposed to know that you're about to ask me that question. I'm supposed to just spit out the answer immediately you're asking me. It doesn't always work like that. Children need to be taught to think. They need to be taught the art of thinking. You need to be taught the art of reasoning, of processing information. So they don't. Have you watched all these videos that I saw one that they asked one man, who is who is a side chick or something like that? And the guy said, oh, and he started giving definition. You know those funny videos that they will just ask one question and somebody is saying something else. The truth is that a lot of people haven't been taught the act of thinking can be taught. The act of reasoning can be learned. Okay, and so most times we kill that thinking process in our classes because we want to save time. I only have 35 minutes with you in the class. I only have 40 minutes in class. I don't have time for you guys to think. Just give me the answer. Well, that's not going to work for most children, especially the ones that are introverts. So let's create an environment where every child, even if you're an extrovert or an introvert, you can feel comfortable to talk. So have straws, for instance, where you name after your children, after the students in your class, and you tell them, when I'm teaching, if I want to ask a question, I pick your name. Sometimes I tell them that your names are written on it like 3 times, so each person has 3 straws. The reason why I do that sometimes is, once I pick a child's name, and they feel like, oh, they've picked my name, I'm free for the day, they might relax. So sometimes I name them thrice, more than once in the class, on the straw. So two times or 3 times. So I let them know that I picked you now doesn't mean I can't pick you again. And then that feeling of Miss Joyce is always calling this person or only calling these people won't even be there, because they see you fairly pick names out from there, and whoever name is picked has to answer. So that introverted child is more prepared and ready. Get them to do things like anonymous feedback, where they can give feedback. Maybe, like I said the other time, that I used to have something like a laminated A4 sheet. You know, with laminated A4 sheet, you can use markers on them and they can be wiped off. So I have those laminated A4 sheets, and then in my classroom sometimes I do quick checks. So let me give an example. Of course, we won't be doing one, but let's imagine 1 + 1. I give them time. I say, write your answer and lift it up once you're done. Let me see, okay, and you lift it up, and at a glance I'm able to say, okay, yes, put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down. So sometimes they're more comfortable like that, because you're not really putting the spotlight on them, and you're still giving them an opportunity to still be quiet the way, or if they prefer to be quiet, or to speak out if they want to. Ask questions and say, okay, I'm giving you 3 minutes, which is not too much to give from your 40 minutes class. I'm giving you 3 minutes. I want you to think about why you think women don't participate in or are not well represented in politics. Okay, why do you think it is the case? And I say, okay, I give you 5 minutes, think about it, jot down your answers. And so that way, you're also teaching the extroverts that would just like to do things on whims. You're teaching them to calm down, and process their answers and process their. So have you seen children that say, I know the answer? They say, what's the answer? And they'll say blue when it's supposed to be white. And you're like, how? So it's not because they don't know it. Most children don't like to process unusually more quickly than they should. Okay, so find all these varied ways of getting them to be comfortable. When you do your lessons, when you plan your classroom activities, when you plan your group task, ask yourself, how is the introverted child going to be comfortable with this activity? How is the extroverted child going to be comfortable with this activity? Make sure that your differentiation is all about trying to make sure that all the different kinds of learners and personalities in your class are carried along. Okay, so that's that. So I was doing a summary of last week, but I think I've done a lot more than a summary. So today we just wanted to quickly look at how we can support those kind of children in our homes, in the families. So the first is avoid forced socialization. I have one very typical or one example to share about this. One I don't think I will forget easily. I just, when I was thinking about it today, I felt like it just happened yesterday. So in my house growing up, I was a very, like, if I'm playing, my daddy will come and ask, are you the only one playing? It's only your voice. I could be so loud. I could be so playful. And then in the house, I could be so, I'm the one that wants to tell stories. I'm the one that wants to talk about films. I'm the one that wants to tell stories about my school and my friends. And I was just this very, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how. But we're having one luncheon or one fundraising in the church. Maybe my JSS class or so. How they put my name as chair lady of the event, I have no idea. I think I should ask my mommy. I've come of age. I should be able to ask her, Mommy, how did you people choose me to become chair lady of that event? See, big men and women in the main adult church, they chose me. I feel somewhere they just felt like, this girl that can talk. If we bring her here and she talks, people will raise money. God have mercy. And then, to make matters worse, I think they gave me, what's it called? My auntie's dress, because they wanted me to look like one madam, and I didn't really have a dress that would bring me that madamish look. So they gave me my auntie's dress that was even big for me. So I wasn't comfortable with the dress. But of course, when they asked me, I said, yes, now, I'll do it. And then I sat down in front of the church on the high table. They invited me, chair lady, they welcomed me. I sat down with all these other big men and women by my side. Me, my big auntie's clothes, just sitting down. Immediately I sat down and I was seeing all the people there. I lie not. My temperature went to, what's the highest temperature someone's temperature can go to? I had a serious headache, banging headache. My temperature was burning. I was sick. I sent someone and said, call my mommy for me. And she came, just coming close to me. She could feel the heat of my body. And she said, are you okay? I said, Mommy, I'm sick. I was shaking. I was crying. They took chair lady away from the table. And I'm telling you, immediately I went off. I don't even think it was up to 10 minutes. I was okay and I was outside playing with the other children. Chair lady has finished. Now, okay, that's just one very funny extreme story, but I'm just saying, don't force socialization on children in your homes that are introverts. You introduce them or you gradually make them get comfortable with socialization. Don't say, it's not in my family. No. My children will not be behaving like Imbe, or my children will not be behaving like Dozo, or will not be behaving like Momo. You have to be sharp. Or excuse me, they are sharp. Give them something comfortable to talk about. Give them an environment that will allow them to express themselves. They will surprise you. You know, recently a friend's husband that we've always felt is a very introverted guy. My husband is always saying, no, this guy is not an introvert. I don't think he's an introvert. He's more of a shy person, but he's not an introvert. Recently, he cashed out from his Pi and told his wife to ask me that, have I cashed out from my Pi network? And I said, okay, how do I do it now? Ask him to tell me the gist. Why is he sending it to me? Just to get talking. And this guy sent voice note upon voice note explaining and typing, and the voice note, the energy in his voice. And I was like, Yeah. So sometimes they just need an environment that allows them to be themselves and to be comfortable. Should they always remain hidden? Should they always be in the background? See, no. Just give them an environment that allows them to do what they do best: process, think, and talk. Okay, they will talk. Except, like I said, if they are shy or they have a trauma that you need to help them overcome. So use interest to build connection. Make sure it's something they are interested in. Don't just assume because this person is like this or like that here or there, then that means they can do B and C and D. You need to make sure that it is something that gets their interest, okay? Then respect their processing before respect the fact that they like processing before responding. Okay, so don't put them through undue pressure to answer you so quickly, and just allow them. Respect the fact that I know my children. There is one that if I ask him a question, if I want to a quick answer, I know the one I will not ask, because I'll put him under undue pressure. I know the one I'll ask that her mouth is sharp. Before you finish, she will help you answer the question. You will have to say, wait, now let me finish the question. So understand them, understand their strengths and their weaknesses, and deal with them accordingly. And then please, open communication to encourage self-expression. Have open conversations with them. Get them to a place where they actually feel very comfortable to express themselves very well. And then at workplaces, please allow for alternative ways of contributions. Not just every time everybody has to talk in a meeting all the time. Sometimes allow for emails, allow for surveys, allow for quick polls. All those are different ways. Even in the classroom, you can use Kahoot, quizzes, and all those different tech ways. Tech has even made it easy for you to have a lot of your introverts contribute to your class. Okay. Then foster a culture of psychological safety. Okay, people should feel safe in your offices, in your workplaces. Please make sure that your inclusion policy is one that is really, really solid. If you need help with any of these things in your workplaces, please, you can reach out. We can always help you. Then pair people with mentors. I had to mentor teachers while I was working in different schools that I worked with, schools that had systems. Yes, that reminds me, somebody said, have you ever had a large class with so many students? Most of what you're saying looks like it works more for a smaller class. What do you talk about? What do you say about government schools and schools that have large classes? I'm planning a class for teachers that are interested over the holiday. I would show you some hacks, some tricks, some cheat code with technology that will allow you manage yourself even with 150 children. During lockdown, I had students from across Nigeria and even outside Nigeria that I was managing with my tech platform, and I didn't break a sweat. Okay, there are so many things now that you can do with AI, with technology, that can let you work smart, and you'll be like a superwoman and a superwoman, because tech will so empower you. Okay, I will show you some of those things. Please, the training is for free, the workshop is for free. I will show you some of my tricks and some things that I do and make me so effective, and you will wonder if I have 10 hands and extra hours in the day. Okay, I'll share some of those things with you. I'll find what date and time that would be, and I'll make sure I share it ahead of time. Okay, then respect different communication styles. Contributions take different forms, okay? Everyone mustn't contribute the same way. We have a culture generally that supports the extrovert easily, because they quickly speak out, they quickly speak up, and then it's just like, ah. And now my husband shared an experience with me. He was in a committee and they were trying to figure something out. There was a missing information, a missing link to trying to resolve that particular thing. And while they were there doing he was going through, my husband is an introvert, okay? So so he was going through, he likes, that guy thinks. He thinks like he's very introspective. He likes to think deeply. He doesn't just do things anyhow. By the time he's done with his thinking, even you will appreciate the outcome. So he was able to figure out two things that they needed to pay attention to for them to make that decision. And by the time he pointed it out, it just looked like there was this, why didn't we think about this? So the thing is, there are times where if you're not careful, because some people don't speak up as quickly as others. You take that information because they came very quickly, and then you just move on with your decision. Give room for any other person. Give room for those people who need more time to talk. Give room for them to still send in feedback via email or any other means that they feel more comfortable with, and gradually get them to a place where they feel very comfortable to talk. So key takeaways: the goal isn't to change people, but to empower them in safe environments. Okay, you like chicken, I like fish. So you can't be angry with me that I prefer fish and you prefer chicken. Okay, so different people have different ways they express themselves and different ways they communicate, and they prefer to communicate. If you have a policy that just caters for one style of communication, that might be very dangerous for your organization, for your family, or for your classroom. So different people communicate in different ways. Appreciate diversity. Diversity is very beautiful. It's very beautiful, because the truth is that your service is not going to one kind of personality. So if you don't have every other kind of personality present on your decision-making table, then you would lose out on having the perspective of that particular personality. So if you're doing an advert, there's a way an extrovert will receive that advert, and there's a way an introvert will receive that advert. If you want to have a balanced advert where all parties will kind of enjoy it, it will be beautiful if the people creating the advert, there's diversity, because then that person who is an introvert will say, but this phrase doesn't sound too right. It makes me feel like this or like that. You can't always take everything, of course, but at least there will be balance. So finally, we miss out on brilliant ideas when we overlook those who aren't naturally outspoken. So let's not miss out on brilliant ideas because we feel... Someone once told me that they are not children. I was working with a school to evaluate and appraise their teachers, and when I got talking with them, so usually I have my one-to-one sessions with the teachers just to get to understand their strengths and their weaknesses, their goals, their targets, areas they struggle with, and the rest. And most of these findings are presented back to the school management anonymously, so that no teacher is witch-hunted or whatever. And then some of the things came as a shock to the school owner. Why are they not talking? Why are they not talking? Every time we have meeting, they don't talk. Every time we have meeting, they don't express themselves. Every time we have meeting, they don't say anything. Why? And I was like, you need to create an opportunity for people, different ways to get feedback. You can't have just... You want me to be coaxing them and begging them to express what they are struggling with. I need to be sure that I'm still connected. Am I still connected? Okay, so it's important to make sure that you have different modes of communication. So that will be all for today. Thank you so much. I hope we make room to accommodate people of different personalities in our environments and in the places that we work and in our classrooms. Next week, we're going to talk about self-development, but particularly we're going to talk about snoozing on self-development. So thank you so much, Ololade Ayeni Olabayo. Thank you for joining. Samuel Enesi Joseph, thank you for joining. Precious Ade, thank you for watching and for joining. Hindatu Mohammed, I'm so glad that you made it today. And if I didn't mention your name, it's just because I really can't see you now. But thank you everyone for coming. I'm looking forward to when people feel comfortable to say they want to join in and say something. It will really be nice to get your views and your opinions on the different things that we talk about. I'll do a summary and share as usual, and see you next week. Please don't snooze on self-development. We're going to talk about it, snoozing on self-development. How can we overcome it? How can we make self-development a priority? How can we make it consistent? How can we make it something that we do easily? So see you all next week. I hope the tips we've shared on how to engage with introverts or hidden voices in our different workplaces, families, and classroom helped. I look forward to reading your own tips as well. So bye. See you next week, Friday. Enjoy your weekend.